I'm Joe Plott. I'm a third-year pharmacy student, and I participated in the Service Abroad trip for the Shoulder to Shoulder Brigade. I would definitely recommend this program to all UK students. You learn a lot by putting yourself outside of your comfort zone. I know in the US it's sometimes easy to kind of just stuck in a rut of just, I have to go to work, I have to do this, I have to work with these people. But on this trip, everyone was very motivated, everyone volunteered for this experience, everyone really had a passion to serve these patients, and it really showed. And I think that was really kind of a game changer in terms of patient outcomes, because we all just worked together to give the best quality care we could. We always collaborated with each other whenever a question came up. For example, if a patient complained of back pain or something, the physicians would work with PT to kind of work through that problem together instead of just giving a referral or saying to follow up with another professional at a later date. I think it was really cool to see kind of the live action of all of that take place. Through the trip, I really learned that I found a passion for interprofessional work. I think a lot of healthcare is kind of going more towards collaborative care between health professions. And I think having this experience as a student will really prepare me for my future career. Because I think when you work with other professions, you really grow as a professional yourself, and you just learn a lot from how other people communicate as well. One of my favorite experiences on the trip was actually after we finished up at the clinic, we would have reflection discussions. And that was a really awesome experience. Just to kind of, you spent the whole day kind of helping patients and working together, and then you just kind of got to decompress after the day. And it was really kind of cool to see what each different profession experienced each day and have that discussion. So one of the main skills I learned through this experience was adaptability. One day we would be in a building with shelves and we'd have a fully stocked pharmacy similar to the US. And then other days, when we went out to the jungle, we would be working our pharmacy out of just a suitcase. So working with limited resources was definitely something in the US we don't struggle with. We can quickly order almost any drug available within the next day. And at the beginning of the trip, the pharmacy students actually helped to build the formulary. We kind of just anticipated what patients would need. And I think it really prepares you for those experiences. Like, I feel confident now that I could quickly adapt to almost any situation after working in the fast-changing environments that I found on the trip. Yeah, so I would say the language barrier was definitely a large challenge I faced through the trip. I didn't even take Spanish in high school, so I didn't even have that to pull from. And somehow I was one of the main people that ended up counseling patients. Every time we had a common phrase that would be used, I would just get one of the interpreters to write it down for me so I could just kind of butcher it when I went over it the next time. I learned a lot of skills about how we should communicate directly with the patient and use the interpreter as a guide for that, instead of speaking to the interpreter and having them relay the message. And I think learning skills like that, with working with language barriers, is very important, because our country is getting a lot more diverse, and I think working with interpreters will become more common as the years go on, and I think learning that as a student was very beneficial to me. Every day we're trying to give back to our patients, we're trying to be there for them, and this experience kind of honed in on that, to just giving back and just to see how positive these patients were. Like, essentially, we couldn't give them a lot of life-changing meds even if they needed it, but just to see how genuinely grateful they were to have our help, for us to come in and help them, how absolutely blessed they were by that.